Water has shut down the water to municipalities it supplies to install a new valve, and this is expected to last 54 hours. Residents in affected municipalities have been urged not to panic as water supply will not be completely cut off. Among the affected areas will be the city of Johannesburg, Mogale City, Merafong, Emfuleni and Rustenburg. ENC's Nqobile Madlala is joining us now live with the latest. Nqobile, a very good morning to you. We understand that by now Rand Water should have started its work of shutting down the pipe that they are putting a valve in the Vaal area. At least that's what Mr. Justice Mogale told us on the telephone at about 6 o'clock this morning here on Morning News today, that by all intents and purposes that work should have started at 6.
Yes, we do understand that that work is now in place. In fact, I'm going to be joined by Mr. Justice Mogale to just explain to us what this work is all about, because from our understanding, we do understand that they are doing an upgrade into making sure that they receive more raw water. But Mr. Mogale, please explain, what does this more raw water means for citizens of Johannesburg?
I must say that water usage or water demand has been increasing, and this is a way Rand Water is responding to that. In the past 2 years, we have been laying this pipeline, and we have recently completed this 600 million rand project. So it's going to augment, it's going to add more raw water into Rand Water's network so that we can keep on purifying and provide to citizens.
Okay, I understand that in 54 hours, basically the Johannesburg residents will be dependent on our reservoirs. But how much of water is in our reservoirs that you have pumped, and how much consumption is needed by our residents?
Let me clarify that. Rand Water has two purification plants. We have Zeker purification plant. We also have Vereeniging purification plant. The Zeker it's not in any way going to be affected, and that's the biggest one. We purify 4,600 megaliters on daily basis. The one that's going to be affected is Vereeniging, and it's not going to be completely dysfunctional. It's going to be partially functional. We are going to connect these two pipelines, the newly laid pipeline and the old pipeline, which is B11. We are going to use that valve. So we are going to purify, and people should not be scared, should not be nervous. There will always be water.
You speak about people not being nervous, but we do understand that there's some pressure that is needed for people that are in high-lying areas. Would you explain to us how these people will be affected?
That can only happen if the demand or if the usage for water outstrips the supply. So, which is why we always try to conscientize our people to use water sparingly. Those high-lying areas may only be affected if the system is too much drained, and we hope everybody will cooperate with us and use the substitute, like for instance people who want to clean their pavement at home using their hose pipes. We say use a broom, just sweep. People who wash their cars, we say please use a bucket, and you don't have to water your garden at certain points. So we hope everybody else will cooperate with us to make sure that this scarce resource is shared among us all.
You normally say people should use water sparingly. Would you detail that to us? What does that mean for residents of Johannesburg?
As I was saying, that use substitute for water. You don't have to use water or a hose pipe to clean your pavement at home. Use a broom to sweep. Use other means. When we say don't water your garden at certain point during the day, don't water your garden during that time. When we say water in the evening, so we know that during the evening the demand it's not that much. So we always advise to give people this kind of tips.
Last question. There's a lot of companies that are using a lot of water. How are you going to make sure that these companies are not consuming a lot of water compared to our residents?
Remember us as Rand Water, we are the bulk supplier. We purify and supply to municipalities in bulk. Municipalities in the end are the ones who supply those companies and residents. So we, besides the municipalities as our customers, we also supply some mines and few farms. So these companies that you're talking about will be supplied by municipalities.
All right. Thank you very much. That was Justice Mogale, the spokesperson for Rand Water, just explaining to us how citizens should be using water in this 54 hours that they're going to be upgrading and, of course, installing that butterfly valve.
Thank you very much.